my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video, we have a lot of news for the Andor series. We're first of all going to take a look at a new character, and then we have our first plot leaks for the show. I will give you a major spoiler warning at the time when we do transition to that, but I will say they're not confirmed. There's a good chance they're not even true, but we'll dive into all of that when we get to it. But first of all, something that is confirmed. The new Cassian Andor Black Series figure contains a new droid, one we saw in the teaser trailer, and its name is B2EMO or B2EMO. B2EMO, is this 2008? But in all seriousness, the figure looks great, and so does the new droid. And I must say, and this is something a few other people pointed out, there is a Kyle Katarn aesthetic to Andor here. Similar silhouettes, the beard, similar blasters as well. Very reminiscent of Dark Forces. And you know, just based on the teaser trailer alone and some of the pictures we had in Empire magazine, I think the character designs for this series are superior to most of what we've gotten in other Disney Plus Star Wars shows so far. And so now guys, let's move on to these unsubstantiated Andor leaks. In spite of the huge amount of making Star Wars leaks we had for the Kenobi series, and one or two for the Book of Boba Fett, we've not had any for the Andor series. But that changes today, my dear friends, because finally some wild leaks have dropped on the Star Wars Leaks Reddit page, the first for the show, and we need to talk about them. Now, as a disclaimer, I will make it very clear that everything I cover in this video is from an uncertified user who claims to have a source close to the project. Now, I will admit, after having done some digging and extra research, it turns out that some of this leak, some of it, does have some credibility. But I must say right from the outset, these are not my own leaks, I'm just reporting on them. So take everything with a huge heap of salt and skepticism. Nothing is confirmed. There is always a chance this report is completely wrong, and with just over a month to go until the Andor series drops, we'll find out soon enough. But with that said guys, let's dive straight into it. Needless to say, major spoilers ahead. Now right off the bat, if what this person is saying is true, this is some of the most exciting stuff we've heard for the show. I'm going to go through each point they made chronologically, and then we're going to talk about them one by one. So first of all, they say there is no Vader in this series. I repeat, no Darth Vader. Now this, along with one or two other specifics, is a big reason I'm giving these leaks any credibility at all, and not just writing them off as fake or fanfiction. Now, unless it's going to be a big surprise, nobody I've spoken to close to the project heard of anything relating to Vader. This is not going to be a repeat of Rogue One where he appeared at the end. He doesn't serve this story, at least not in the first season. The focus of Tony Gilroy's show is not big cameos and fan service. There probably will be some, but the primary goal of this series was a solid story, a good narrative surrounding Cassian Andor's journey. So next up, they claim that Neil Scanlon, the creature effects supervisor on The Force Awakens and Rogue One, has made a dozen Neimoidian warrior masks and outfits that resemble feudal Chinese-style armor, and they also note the Neimoidian leader is very unique looking. Now this is going to be reminiscent of what we saw in the Star Wars Eclipse trailer a few months ago. Now personally, I'm interested to see which faction of Neimoidian soldiers this is, because after the Clone Wars, the entire species and the planet Pure Neimoidia was subjected to oppression, demilitarization, and control, so it's not too obvious who these guys are. Now next up, this person claims that Palpatine does make an appearance, and apparently when Mon Mothma is being taxied through the capital on Coruscant, we see a giant propaganda hologram of Palpatine, looking like he did in Revenge of the Sith, and not post-Windu. And apparently the propaganda is to encourage the citizens of Coruscant to be excited about this new era, similar to what he says in the Bad Batch Season 2 trailer. Now the next claim in this report is that Mandalorians are going to appear, but none of the characters or clans that we've ever seen before. OP says he doesn't know anything about these Mandos other than the fact they have bone-style armor. And if you guys think back to a couple of days ago in Empire magazine, Mandalorian armor was seen as an Easter egg in the background of a shot with Mon Mothma and Luthen. They next address Temuera Morrison and guarantee that he's in the show, although he doesn't know which clone or clones that he's played. And there were other recent reports claiming that Tem is in one episode as Commander Thaya, but again, nothing is confirmed. Nonetheless, my dear Mandalorians, I can also attest to having heard that Tem shot a few scenes here in the UK, and OP in this report says he did shoot for 1 month in England. Could we see Captain Rex? Is it going to be Commander Thaya or someone else? Or who knows, maybe a live-action Bad Batch? That'd be amazing. So next up they bring up Andor's childhood and how in flashback sequences we're going to see more clones, and unfortunately Andor's parents being killed by them, and I'm actually really happy this detail is being put into the show and demonstrates Tony Gilroy's willingness to keep to canon continuity. For those who are unaware, Cassian Andor's parents were separatist sympathizers on Fest, and from a young age Andor himself would throw rocks and bottles at Republic walkers. Even though he later joined the rebellion, in Andor's eyes, the Republic and the Empire that replaced it were the same oppressive regime. And the reason I'm so excited that Tony Gilroy is going to keep to canon in this instance is because we've known about Andor's past, his parents, their separatist allegiances, pretty much since the Rogue One visual guide came out over 5 years ago. So if this report is true, then a lot of consistency. And so now finally guys, a massive detail that is sure to get prequels fans very excited indeed. According to this leak, we're returning to Utapau for one episode. Not just this, but Tion Meaden, the famous Pauan, is going to return for a brief scene where he converses with our main character. So according to this, Cassian goes to an abandoned sinkhole on Utapau to pick up a drop. And they say there's a massive dragon living down there, which Andor has to escape. And a part of me wonders if this creature is going to be a Varactor like Boga, the one Obi-Wan rode in episode 3, but it could very well be a Nos monster. In either case, this is the one part of this rumour that I really hope is true. I miss the prequel planets, and considering the show was filmed on location, Utapau could look incredible in 2022. It's not going to look as cheap as Obi-Wan Kenobi or the Book of Boba Fett. The scope is going to make the galaxy feel enormous, and we desperately need that right now in Star Wars. So that is the leak. It's not comprehensive, it by no means gives away everything about the show, and as the OP says, these are just bits and bobs, a few tidbits that they've heard. If they're true, I've got to tell you guys, my excitement is through the roof. More than anything, the variety of planets, aliens, all intertwined with hopefully a really good story, this is going to be a breath of fresh air. We've been stuck on Tatooine for too long guys, and I truly believe, and I know some people are skeptical about this, that this series is going to bring the magic back to the galaxy and to the franchise. I truly believe, as does Josh from Den of Nerds and many others who've spoken up about the series, that Andor is the droid we're looking for, so to speak. This is the Disney Plus series, along with The Mandalorian, to give fans what we really want. A juicy Star Wars story with depth, and this one comes right out of the legacy of Rogue One, probably the best Disney Star Wars movie. And the irony of all of this is the one show to do that is not about a legacy character, but one of Disney's own. But in a sense, that's where they thrive. Disney Star Wars has always been at its best when it focuses on its own characters, because they seem to know what to do with them, whether it's Mando, Grogu, Omega, Andor, or whoever else. Those are the stories that in my opinion are worth the watch, and also worth the wait. The Andor series has been a long time coming, and just before I go guys, we do have a new quote from executive producer Sanna Vollenberg. She says the following: "It is an intense, epic story with a huge ensemble cast, and many characters you're meeting along Cassian Andor's way. We're following these particular formative years of the rebellion as well as the Empire. It's always an extraordinary moment of time when people are under pressure to wake up and stand for who they are and are prepared to make sacrifices." And as we know, Andor is going to be a fundamentally political show. It's actually going to try and say something, some underlying messages, just like the original trilogy did, the prequels too. Everything George Lucas did with Star Wars had a deeper meaning to it, and this show follows that legacy, so super exciting stuff. As I say, my dear friends, take everything you've heard in this video with a huge heap of salt. I would not usually cover things that are uncredited, especially when they're just wild claims, but these leaks do seem to have a tinge of credibility to them. If they're right or if they're wrong, we're going to find out in just a few weeks' time. I'm so excited for the Andor series that releases on August the 31st. And with that said, my dear friends, share your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and if you want more videos not found here on YouTube, then why not click the link down there in the description. You get access to our Discord server while also getting tons of videos, I'm talking hundreds, that you can't find here on YouTube. Live stream Star Wars Explained videos, Rogue One in-depth videos, and even more to do with the Andor show, so check it out if you're interested. But until the next one guys, may the Force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg, have a good one.